Formula One is currently at a crossroads, facing some difficult decisions about its future. The sport's CEO, Stefano Domenicali, has expressed concerns that iconic races in Italy, like Imola and Monza, could be at risk due to the growing demand for Formula One to expand into new territories. There have been numerous reports and direct comments from Domenicali about this issue, and it's clear that the sport's priorities are shifting. Domenicali, who has a personal connection to Imola, fears that we might lose these legendary Italian venues as new countries like Thailand and Rwanda push to join the calendar. Despite these concerns, there's no denying that Formula One is reaching a critical point in its global growth. The question now is whether these new venues will actually add value to the sport, or if the tradition and history of circuits like Imola and Monza will be overshadowed by the need to expand. Currently, Formula One is in serious talks to add races in Rwanda and Thailand. While Domenicali has praised these countries for their potential, he has also acknowledged the tough reality that we may soon see fewer Italian races. He recalls how, back in 2020, Italy stepped up and hosted multiple races to help Formula One get through the challenges of the pandemic. But now, with the sport's growth and increased interest from emerging nations, the balance between tradition and progress is being tested. Domenicali, whose roots lie in Imola, understands the significance of these Italian races. He acknowledges that Formula One's increasing global appeal makes it increasingly difficult to hold two races in one country. He stated, "Italy has always been, and will continue to be, a crucial part of Formula One. However, with the rising interest in the sport worldwide, especially in countries like Thailand and Rwanda, the future of races like Imola and Monza remains uncertain." The challenge is particularly tough for Imola, which has provided some unforgettable moments in Formula One history. Fans in Italy, especially in Monza, are incredibly passionate, and the sight of Ferrari fans cheering wildly when their drivers succeed is unmatched. While other locations, such as Austria and Zandvoort, have seen large crowds, the Tifosi's devotion to their home teams remains unique. But as the sport evolves, so does the pressure on organizing multiple races within the same country, especially when budgets and logistical concerns come into play. For example, Spain has warned that hosting two races, especially with Madrid joining the mix, could be financially unfeasible. Barcelona, once the centerpiece, now faces potential rotation due to these shifting dynamics. The same situation was anticipated for Zandvoort, but the Dutch Grand Prix organizers opted to step back. Formula One's expansion has triggered these concerns, and it's clear that the sport is changing in ways that fans and legends alike must grapple with. The rapid expansion of Formula One's calendar has raised more questions about the sport's competitive nature. Some drivers, like Max Verstappen and Fernando Alonso, have openly criticized the shift toward street circuits, which they believe could compromise the integrity of the sport. Verstappen, in particular, has voiced his concerns about the growing pressure of a packed calendar and hinted that he might retire earlier than expected if the sport continues down this path. Alonso, too, has been vocal about his worries. He's expressed doubts about the current generation of Formula One cars, especially their suitability for racing on tight street circuits surrounded by concrete walls and skyscrapers. While the introduction of narrower cars in 2026 might make things easier, the challenges of navigating high-speed corners in such environments remain daunting. Despite these concerns, Formula One's leadership is pushing forward with plans to incorporate new venues, like those in Thailand and Rwanda, to meet the growing global demand. The interest from Rwanda is particularly notable. Thanks to the vision of President Paul Kagame, the country is on the verge of hosting Formula One's first race in Africa since 1993. Domenicali has expressed his support for this initiative, acknowledging the potential Rwanda holds for the sport. The country is making rapid progress in multiple sectors, and Formula One is keen to be part of this transformative journey. According to Domenicali, the plans for Rwanda are progressing quickly, and Formula One is committed to helping the promoters make it happen. Lewis Hamilton has been a strong advocate for Formula One returning to Africa, praising Rwanda's efforts and the vision behind bringing a race to the continent. However, as with any major change in the sport, there are complications. Despite his support for an African Grand Prix, Hamilton's allegiance to Ferrari could complicate things, especially considering that Imola's contract is up in 2025, and there's no certainty about its future. Monza, on the other hand, remains secure on the calendar until at least 2031, but this doesn't mean it won't be rotated with other venues during that period. Thailand is another country that has shown a keen interest in joining the Formula One circuit. Albon's popularity in the sport, particularly boosted by his success with Williams and his prominence in the Netflix series Drive to Survive, has brought attention to the untapped potential in Thailand. There have been numerous discussions between Domenicali and Thailand's Prime Minister Shinawatra about the possibility of a Grand Prix in Bangkok. Although Thailand has faced political instability in recent years, Domenicali remains optimistic that these challenges can be overcome. Formula One's goal is to focus on regions that represent the future of the sport, and Thailand is one of those emerging. The sport has already seen growing interest from places like Africa and South America, and the potential addition of Thailand would be another significant step in expanding Formula One's global presence. As Formula One continues to push for global expansion, there are growing concerns among the drivers and teams about the toll the packed calendar is taking. George Russell has raised alarms about the pressure on the behind-the-scenes staff who work tirelessly to ensure that everything runs smoothly during race weekends. The logistics of moving a Formula One team across the globe, from Brazil to Las Vegas to Abu Dhabi, are a massive undertaking. With 3 different time zones and climates to adapt to in just a few weeks, the demands on the teams are enormous, but the challenges don't stop there. Verstappen has been increasingly vocal about the strain of racing on such a demanding schedule, especially with the risk of burnout. The Dutch driver has made it clear that he doesn't want Formula One to be his entire life, stating that he wants to spend more time with his family and explore other competitions like Le Mans. This sentiment highlights a deeper issue facing the sport: the risk of overworking both the drivers and the teams. Moreover, the environmental concerns tied to Formula One's expansion cannot be ignored. The sport has faced criticism for not living up to its green initiatives, and the ever-growing calendar adds to the environmental impact. As more races are added to the schedule, there are worries about whether the sport will truly be able to balance its global growth with the commitment to sustainability. With all these changes happening in Formula One, the future of the sport seems both exciting and uncertain. The possibility of losing iconic tracks like Imola or Monza, while expanding into new territories like Rwanda and Thailand, shows the direction the sport is heading. Formula One is clearly growing, but at what cost? Will the additions of street races and new venues truly enhance the competitive nature of the sport? Or will they dilute what makes Formula One so special? It's clear that the increasing pressure on both the drivers and the teams could lead to significant changes in how the sport operates. The growing calendar, the challenges of sustainability, and the potential loss of fan-favorite races like Imola create a perfect storm for controversy. As the sport continues to expand, it will be interesting to see how it manages to balance tradition with progress, and how the fans and drivers react to these changes in the coming years. So, what do you think? Is Formula One making the right choices by embracing new races and markets? Or is it risking too much by losing its traditional venues? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're here, don't forget to check out the video on your screen for more insights into the world of Formula One.